Day 2 has the same instructions as day 1. It just looks a little bit different. You have a square root on both sides of the equation now. For these, 1 through 4 aren't that bad to do by hand. 5 through 8 get really time consuming. So for these, I said just put in the calculator. You split it up and put the left side in y1, the right side in y2, and graph it so we can see what that will look like. Go to the graph just to see if they cross. If they don't cross, we know that there's no solution. If they do cross, we can kind of get a feel for what we're looking for in the table. So it looks like it crossed around 4. So that's when we're going to look in the table. So I'm going to go to the table and look around 4. So I have 2 1s, so they're getting closer. So that's it. So x is 4. Even though the y value is a decimal, as long as the y value is the same for a specific x value, then that's my answer. They have to be right next to each other. They can't be diagonal. They have to be for the same x value. So my answer, x is 4. So I'm looking at number 4. Put the whole left side in y1, the right side in y2. I'm going to graph. So yeah, I crossed at least once, and it looks like it's about 5. So looking from the graph, I know that it didn't cross more than once, because that blue line is bending away from that flat horizontal line. So if I look at the table, yes, I have 0, 0, x is 5, so 5 is my answer. So 5 through 8 look a little bit different than 1 through 4. I have x on both sides, but now I only have a radical on one side. So now I can have 0, 1, or 2 solutions. So that's where graphing really comes in handy, because I can see if they even cross or if they cross more than once. And I do it the same way. The left side in y1, the right side in y2. Yeah, so I'm only going to have one solution. So I'm going to go to the table. It looks like it's around 7. Okay, so x is 8. Okay, so number 7, I put the left side in y1, the right side in y2. We graph it. So this one, I can't really tell. It looks like it might have crossed twice. Somewhere in between 1 and 5. So we go to the table. You need to look. And indeed, they did cross twice. So I have 3, 3, 5, 5. So my answer is 1 and 3. So I've heard from a few of you that you've gotten really good at doing inverses mentally, and that's fine. So the rest of you that have not, you're still struggling to find the operations and all that. If you know that the opposite of square is a square root, and think about the inside versus the outside. So on the inside I have -1, on the outside I have +9. So they're going to switch places for the inverse. So I have the square root. 9 is now going to be on the inside. Instead of adding, I'm going to be subtracting. So I have x minus 9. 1 is on the inside, it's going to be on the outside, and it's going to be a plus. So that's my inverse. So number 12, I'm going to try it again. My inverse. The inverse of square root is square. -4 is on the inside, so it's going to be on the outside of my inverse. -6 is on the outside, it's going to be on the inside of my square. So everything switches places. All your numbers, rather. X stays the same, you're just moving things inside, outside, switching your operations. A square root, now it's going to be a square. Stuff like that. Like even the signs change. So minus would be plus plus. So hopefully, even if you can't figure out the inverse on the test, you can look at the answer choices and say, okay, these are all opposite. It has to be this answer choice. And you can figure it out by looking at the given answer choices.